Hey there everybody, welcome back to the channel. And if you're on, some my age, maybe a little bit older, you probably had a Brownie as a kid, or a SLR film camera as a kid, shot a lot of film growing up, or if you're part of the younger generation, you probably really enjoy shooting film photography, but as we all know, it gets pretty expensive nowadays with the price of film going up and the production of film going down. So as you've seen in the intro, there is a program out there called Dehancer, which is something I didn't really mess with until recently, but it's definitely opened my eyes to the idea of film simulations, and I can understand why people might like Fuji's version of the film simulations in their cameras. Not everybody has a Fuji, and those of us in the rest of the 80% of the digital market, even if you're on a cell phone, you don't really have access to something like that. And I really feel this is where Dehancer comes into play here. So we're going to jump right into it here, and I'm going to show you on the Mac here how it works. Now it does work on any of the newer Macs, and it's pretty much made for the newest Macs with the Apple chipsets in them, but of course you can run this on Intel Macs or Windows. So real quick before we get into going into the nitty-gritty of how to use the plugin from Dehancer, we're going to go and talk about how to get off their website, activate it, and install it. So when you go to install this, make sure you use the right installation for whatever version of Mac you have. So since we are on an ARM Mac, an M1, we're going to have to use the ARM64 for Dehancer and Lightroom installation. And then it'll just come up and it'll flash that you need to open it because it's not a recognized program, because it's not from the Apple Store. Click Next, accept the license, and then continue forward to your normal installation like any other program. Once that's done, you just got to click Finish. Then you have to open Lightroom itself. Once you have that open, you have to go to your top left to where you click Lightroom and then go to Preferences, and you need to be on the third tab for editing preferences, and make sure you go to Additional External Editor, and you have to click Choose Program and then find your installation under Applications for your Dehancer. And real quick, on Windows it's very similar, just got a couple different menus you have to go through. So whenever you go and get this set up, you want to set your Dehancer application to these exact settings for TIFF, sRGB, 16 bits, and 300 resolution with no compression. It is under the README file for the program in case you forget. So when you're ready and you want to edit in Dehancer, all you gotta do is right click on your picture, and like any other plugin, you have to click Edit In and then click Dehancer Lightroom plugin. And your settings will still be saved whenever you did this selection and preferences. And we'll bring up the plugin, and now you'll have to install all of the profiles for the different films. You just click OK, and you go to install them, and it'll download them from the internet. Now there is 63 film simulations in this, or emulations is what they call it. And then make sure your processing GPU is picked for whatever system you're using. And then for the render preview, I have it set to 20 megapixels because I use a Z9, but keep in mind that if you don't have a limit on it, it will slow the program down a lot. So here we're going to get ready to activate the Dehancer. So after you get the trial, or you get the purchase the key itself, you have to log in with your registration email and password you made on their website. And then you just got to select one of the two seats or keys to activate. And once you select it, just click Activate Plugin. And that's all you have to do on that. It'll automatically select the key and type it in for you, and you're ready to go. Okay, so let's get into how to use this program. So I have several different pictures to try this out on, and we're just going to do one of each genre that I typically do. And once we are through it all, at the end of the video we'll just have a quick little slideshow showing the before and after of the other images that I had picked out for this tutorial. So here we got some pilots, and I believe it was an FA-18 Super Hornet, and honestly I just love this picture because, I mean, can you really be an Air Force pilot without a mustache? I don't think you can. I think that's a requirement. So we'll go in here, right click, edit in, open it in Dehancer. We got our saved stuff there. And then here on the left, we have all the different presets you have. There's 63 different presets, and it gives you a little mini preview of what they might look like. So this ADOX Color Implosion 100, click that, and there you go. That's what it would look like generally if it was shot on that film. But me personally, since I kind of grew up in the 90s, I feel like a lot of the warmer colors, warmer films kind of feel more at home to me, like this Kodak Vision 200T. That feels like my childhood, the 90s, late 80s. And then of course, whenever you're done, if you say, yeah, I want to go with Kodak Vision 3, you just go to the right side here and you can sit here and mess with all the different settings, the preset settings. And then also for your print, you want to simulate a different type of print. Click the drop down, you have Kodak 2383, gives it a different feel to it. You have the Fuji film. Then you also have the original Kodak Indura glossy paper. See, I just like that. I usually don't mess with all these different settings, but if you want to, you can. Like if you really want to go crazy with the grain, you can go bananas with it. Really crank it up there if that's what you want. There's a whole bunch of different settings you can do on this. Like it's just kind of bananas. I can't believe this company's run by like just 13 people. If you go look at the bio on the Dehancer website, it shows the whole history about it and everything. Honestly, I found it pretty fascinating. If you don't want to like buy Dehancer, I would at least go and read their about me and history on their website. It's pretty cool. It's like an endless amount. You can adjust your bloom, so you can maybe not have such crazy highlights blown out, or you can just go crazy with them. I don't know, I think it looks really cool on the guy's visor. So let's say we want to keep that image, and we'll just click OK. Oh, real quick, before I forget, if you just want to see the original, just uncheck the preview box. You can see the before and after, just a quick comparison. So when you're done, just click OK, and it'll spit it right out. It's super quick. You don't lose a ton of resolution on anything that you shoot. So we'll go to the next one for landscape. And this is one of my favorite pictures I've taken. I'm probably going to revisit this in a few weeks for my waterfall tutorial. And this is Breakneck Falls. This is at McConnell's Mills State Park. And I'm kind of just interested to see what it's going to look like. I'm kind of hoping we're going to have a couple cold weeks here so we can get some ice going on this. I think that'd make for a pretty cool shot, especially if you move it in the black and white. So this is like a super sharp image. It takes a second to load. It's a panorama. It's a big stitch. So we'll just open this back up in the Dehancer plugin. We'll see how it handles really big files. Like that's probably a 200 megapixel image. Yeah, see, it's kind of slow on rendering the previews, but it wasn't too bad, especially for 200 megapixels. And the last image that you edit, it saves your selection right here. So it knows my last export from the plugin was Kodak Vision 200T. But we'll try something different. Let's see with the black and white. I've always wanted to shoot Ilford HP5, and honestly, that looks pretty sweet. It's pretty much what you'd expect from Ilford, deep blacks without, you know, losing too much crazy detail. And also, just to keep in mind, it's not like I've never shot film before. I've kept a lot of my developed film in a couple different folders. Shot a lot of slide. Slide's my favorite. Probably can't see that very well on the camera, but a lot of cool stuff there. A lot of black and white, a lot of color. Got stuff in this folder. I got a whole bunch of other stuff, and hopefully here soon I'm going to get some kind of scanner so that I can scan everything and kind of share some original photos from, you know, back in the day when I very first started shooting. So back to this waterfall. Let's see what else we got. Honestly, that's pretty sweet. That looks really cool. This Kodak Ektar 25 expired in 1996, plus Kodak Endura paper. That, honestly, like, that doesn't really look like film to me. Maybe it's because it's such a big megapixel image and it's just like Mongo huge. But you can see some bloom on there, some highlights. But in the image, man, that just really brings out a lot of the warmth tone to it. I kind of wish I would have done originally in the original digital edit. It's just a lot of green in the original. That just looks super sick. So we're going to go with that one. I think we're going to keep that one. So then we're going to move on to the next. We got portraits. Let's see here. That was a fun picture. My little girl, she was only like 7, 8 months old. So this picture, this picture was shot on a FD to Z adapter. So I was shooting on this 50mm FD lens adapted to my Nikon Z7. It's a Mikey adapter. Now if you want to look at a review that I did on that adapter, you can hit the little box up here. Check that out. That was pretty fun. I still use it. It's a good time. It's really nice for video too, honestly, if you're doing manual focus and video. But on this was a, what do you want to call it? A classic analog lens. So it'd be kind of neat just to see how it looks with the characteristics you get out of an FD lens with some different emulations you get on film. Oh, this is cool. I like this one. The Cinestill 800T on Endura glossy paper. And by the way, on each one of these emulations, they put the creator's name under them, so that's pretty cool. It gives a nice little shout out to them. But I like that. It looks pretty cool. It looks very vintage, very 70s or 80s, especially with this old school kitchen toy. So we'll just go with that. I don't really like going through all these different settings. I mean, if you can dig deep, but I don't know. For film emulations, it's kind of just for fun, but the option's there if you want to go like really deep down into this. So then we got some racing. This one I really wanted to check out. We'll see how this one goes. This was at Slippery Rock Creek, and we were just hiking through, seeing these people go by in their whitewater kayaks. Just one of the things you got to think about is like not every picture you have is going to work out in a film emulation. This Agfa Keller 100, it's pretty decent. I'll go with that. So then we got the Rodeo. This one I was looking forward to doing too. Go with this. This was fun. This was at the Flying W Ranch up in Tynesta, Pennsylvania. If you ever get a chance, I highly recommend you go check out the Flying W. They do a couple rodeos a year. Definitely worth it. It's an outdoor rodeo, so if you go with your camera, make sure you take a fast lens. High speed film, fast lens, high ISO. It's definitely not an easy place to shoot. I think this was pretty high on it too. Pretty high ISO. See, look at that, right back to the Kodak Vision 3 200T. I like that. That gives it a nice 70s and 80s feel, maybe 70s. Keep it. Another thing to remember though is you can stack your edits on top of each other so it doesn't take as much room when you're photo ribbon across the bottom. This was a cool picture. I think this was the United Steelworkers building in Pittsburgh. I'm not 100% sure, but it just had a really cool like lattice look to it. I already kind of have a feeling what I want with this. I kind of feel like I want to do a black one. So yeah, you can go up here on the top left and click Profiles of Film Type. And you can do black and white, and it will only suggest black and white. We have Neopan Acros, Kodak Plus X-Pan. That Rolly 25 looks nice. Ugh, tough decisions. I'm going to have to go with this Scala 200X. And also, you can do a push-pull on it, too. I think we're going to do a little negative on on the thing here. There we go. That's what I like. That just lattice exterior is just so pretty cool. This is what I was looking forward to doing. Do a little wildlife with it. And just because I'm biased on wildlife, we'll do two. We'll do two on this. So this right here was shot on my FD 135 telephoto lens, and this really helped compress the background because I think it's an f3.5 at 135, and it's a pretty light lens, and it just feels so nice whenever you focus it. It's like grease lighting whenever you go to manually focus it. So we've got the FD glass characteristics in it already, as you can see from the colors. And then if we go to bring this up in Dehancer, oh, already, look at that. Cinestill, that's nice. See, I really like this Kodak Ektar 25 again. This is on Endura paper, and then this is on the other paper. I really like that one. You can see the before and after real quick. This removes a lot of the green. It makes it nice and add orange, like a sunset kind of feeling to it. I just think that's gorgeous. And then we'll do one more. This is probably my favorite photo that I took this year. And we'll see how it looks in something. See, this is like fun almost. So like, because like this is just fun. Because you can go through here and you can see how your image would look if you would have used some high-speed film or different types of glass. It kind of just makes it feel like you're going back in time and you're like reliving something that you might have seen on like National Geographic as a kid growing up, or on like Discovery Channel when Discovery Channel actually had TV shows, not just reality crap. See, I really like this one. This Agfacolor 100. Might be butchering that name. Maybe. Some of these I've never 100% used or heard of before, never I shot film. But another little fun tip is in the bottom right of your preview. You can just favorite that emulation. So whenever you go up here and you click favorites, it'll be listed right here. You don't have to go through all 63 different types of emulations to find the one you always like to use. So we'll go with that. A little before and after there. That's just the coolest thing. You know that fish is having second thoughts, third thoughts, fourth thoughts. And really the only negative that I have about the plugin is if you select a whole bunch of pictures at once and you want to, do one emulation on one picture and then go to the next picture and to the next picture, and you want different emulations. Or if you want to do a batch edit of like 10 to 15 photos and you want to put Kodak Gold on all of them, but you can't do that. You have to do them one at a time individually. And at least from what I've been playing around with it, I can't figure out how to do that. And if you select them all and you go to open them in the plugin, it still doesn't let you go through them all. So here at the end of the little tutorial review on Dehancer, I gotta say, it's pretty fun, and it kind of gives some of your photos a little nostalgia from whenever you were growing up, at least for me. A lot of the presets really kind of hit home, especially some of the more yellowish, orangish ones. So if you enjoyed that video, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below what you think about the program, and if you are thinking about getting it, or if you already have it, what your opinions are of it. And until next time, happy shooting out there. I wish you the best of luck.